I like the fact that my disability is completely independent from my artwork. Like anyone can be an abstract painter, and especially when I'm trying to capture movement, like erratic mark making, like it adds to the finished piece.
I first noticed Holly had an interest in art really at O level. Then she decided to do art at A level. But her first subject was psychology, and she went to UEA to study psychology for a year and a half. And she went there because she wanted to live independently from us, and she wanted the whole university experience despite being a wheelchair user. But it was quite hard, and she didn't feel she loved the course enough to carry on with it. So after a year and a term, she left uni and then said, I've got to find something else to do with myself because I don't want to just be stuck at home.
She was determined from the outset that she would do something, and that something turned out to be art. And she wouldn't have been independent just by living here and painting. She wanted to, A, live independently and have her own employment space. So with that in mind, got her own accommodation, and then following on from that, she, through her own devices, found studio space in Norwich, and she now has a wonderful studio space which is fully accessible, and she's surrounded by other like-minded creative types who I think have a certain inspirational effect.
Ink drawing. The process for my artwork is I find a picture online. I normally switch between doing figures and doing animals. Then I sketch the outline, and then I fill it in with watercolour, and then I add ink, and that's got to dry. I normally have like 6 pieces that I'm doing at once. So one layer can dry and I can do another one. I discard a lot of my drawings because I'm really fussy. Sometimes I just give up, but I don't like leaving stuff half finished. So even if I know that something's not going very well, I'll still try and like save it.
In terms of the kind of link to the abstract expressionism, you've got then a genre of artists that came out post-war, Frank Arbach, where he would work in charcoal, as Holly does, but he would look at his subject matter from life drawing through to portraiture of Leon Kossoff, and he would keep reworking the image to the point where he'd actually tear through the paper, and he would stick paper on and keep re-engaging and looking at the image. I think that's where Holly sits now with her work. She re-engages, and she has developed a very strong process of working her art. Her abstraction is more that she is connecting between, if you like, the movement of the body, the creation of the work, and so she's not doing a purely figurative piece, but actually what she's doing, it is figurative, but it retains a freshness, if you like, a freshness of putting something onto a piece of paper.
So you get something like this. This is one of her famous pictures, only famous because it was the publicity picture for her first exhibition ever. Mm-hmm. And it's called Flux. And when you look at Flux, the wrong way around, it's just a mess of ink the sort of thing that a child might do when they're being let loose with a bottle of ink and a brush. And you turn it the other way around, and you suddenly see the movement. The giraffe is one of my all-time favourites. She's just, it's the eyelashes.
That's an example of, I don't know how she does it, because her motor control is incredible that she manages to do individual eyelashes.
You look at the individual components of this picture, and it doesn't make any sense. You put it all together, and it's a perfect giraffe, to the extent that the eyelashes are just so lifelike.
The abstracts started out as her painting animals, and they were beautiful colours, but sometimes they didn't quite work as a complete picture. So from her big A3 bits of paper, rather than throwing them away, we actually chose bits which had something about them, both in the shape and the movement, and in that case it looks like two boats. That was about it. I mean, her work changes all the time, because she's changing all the time in what she can do. But also, yeah, she is progressing. Although things are changing, she's progressing in a different sort of way with her artwork.
Yeah, I feel like my artwork conveys more emotions, and maybe it seems a bit more genuine than other artists, because the marks I make are like accidental. They're marks for movement, and it can seem a bit forced. I think I'm probably inspired by Monet, because his eyesight was deteriorating, and he still created really great works of art. I just wanna like create as much art as possible, because I feel a bit under time pressure. I feel like, because I've got progressive disorder, and it is gonna get worse, and my marks are gonna be more like wobbly, and I'm gonna try and utilize it as like part of this style or whatever, but it's just, you know what I mean?
I see Holly's work as a way of her being defined by something other than her disability. She feels that in a way it's a legacy, it's something she does which is always there for her, but it's always there for her family. And she was determined to create her own artistic style.
She's quite demanding from that point of view. Because she wants this, she wants that, but all those things she wants are good things. It's good that she wants. The fact that she wants to have a studio space rather than paint at home. I mean, she could paint at home, but she'd never leave home.
We've always said that if you can do something, you do it, and if something seems difficult, you find a different way of doing it. It's the age-old thing about disability, that you have to think that the problem can sometimes be the environment you're in, rather than saying that you've got the problem. So you make the environment an environment that you can be as able-bodied as you can within, but she still achieves all the things that people sometimes don't try to do.
I guess my outlook on life is I'm quite determined. I guess people think that because I live independently. It would have been easier to stay at home, but I chose not to. So having a creative outlet is really important for me. It's like a good form of self-expression, you know?